All right, so you want to visit Milford Sound? We got 5 tips for you coming up that you need to know before you go.
So welcome back to Adventures with Rosie. If you're new here, welcome along. I'm Bronson.
I'm Chelsea.
And we are a family of 5. We live full-time in our Jayco Journey caravan and we're travelling in New Zealand.
Yeah.
We just did Milford Sound, had an absolute blast.
Yes.
And we thought today we'd kind of share 5 tips or 5 things we think you should know before you visit Milford. Things you might not be aware of. And so yeah, let's get into them. Alright, so the first piece of advice we can give you, the first tip, is take your time getting there.
Yes, the road into Milford Sound is amazing.
It's incredible.
You'll want to stop lots of times, give yourself plenty of time so that you're not rushed to get to your boat.
Yeah, if you're leaving from Te Anau, it's about 2 hours into Milford Sound. We took probably three and a half hours to get in because we stopped, and we didn't stop at all the places you could stop. So there's waterfalls, there are awesome lookout vantages.
Yeah,
take your time getting in. You may even want to book a cruise for later in the day so you can just spend the morning driving in.
Yep.
And enjoying it. Kia along the way as well. We saw Kia, waterfalls all over the place.
Yeah,
so
a really neat tunnel too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So take your time and allow yourself plenty of time to get there.
Number 2 is parking. So we parked as close as we could to the boat terminal. And it was, how much was it? 25?
It is $25. So you're parking in the middle of nowhere. There is nowhere else to park really, and you're going to be stung $25. So factor that in. There is camper van parking and things like that, so that's fine. But just factor that into your budget.
Yeah.
You're going to pay $25 for parking.
And it's still 10 minutes away from the boat terminal, so you've got to walk 10 minutes to get there. Yeah.
Now there is some free parking that apparently is further around by the airport. But you're probably looking at a half an hour walk to the boats or a 20-minute run. So yeah, factor in $25 for parking. Seems steep, probably the most expensive car park in New Zealand.
Right, point number 3 is gear. Be prepared.
Yep, so we're talking food, fuel, and wet weather gear.
So the food, there's no cafes or shops or anything out in Milford, so you need to take what food you need for the day. Some boats have food available on the boat, so we cruised with Pure Milford. There was plenty of food and drink available. There was a licensed bar too, but if the boat was full, there probably wouldn't be enough for everyone to buy their lunch. So make sure you're taking food with you for the day.
You will see on some of the tickets it says limited food available for purchase. There are
snacks.
Yeah, snacks, there was free tea and coffee on our cruise, which was good. But yeah, there were pies and
sandwiches
and things like that for purchase as well. But don't bank on it. I would go to a bakery in Te Anau or make some sandwiches the night before. Take what food you need for sure. The same goes for fuel. There's no petrol station out there. There's no BP with your pies and all that sort of thing out there. There is a 24-hour, I think it's McCowan's in Te Anau. Good fuel prices there, 24-hour self-service one. So if you're leaving super early in the morning, you can just get fuel on the way, but fill up.
Keep in mind the drive's 2 hours each way. You're going to need fuel.
You'll need a full tank of fuel to get there.
And the third part is wet weather gear. So when we were on the boat, it was a pretty nice day and you still got very wet. So, they pull it right up under waterfalls. There are a few raincoats they can lend you on board on the boat that we were on.
I forgot a jacket.
Most people were coming out pretty soaking and you don't really want to be in wet clothes for the full day. So take wet weather gear with you.
Take a jacket. Take a few layers probably, because when you're just sort of cruising through the sounds, it's nice. It can be quite warm, but then you get under those waterfalls and it's a whole other story. So take your food, take your fuel as much as you can, and jackets for sure. Alright, so tip number 4 is shopping around. So there are plenty of, we were quite surprised actually of the number of tour operators on that area. You walk down the pier, there'd be 8, at least 8 maybe.
At least 8,
So plenty of boats to choose from.
And they're all largely the same kind of cruise. Like there might be slight differences in each operator as terms of food available. Maybe the length of cruise is a little bit longer or a little bit shorter than each other, but they're all roughly the same. And you can look around on pages like Book Me or Grab One, and there's usually pretty good deals to be had, right? I think ours was $59 per person on Pure Milford, and that was a pretty good price for, was it 2-hour cruise?
Yeah, we did the 2-hour cruise. Some are 2.5, and I think some cruises do a lunch as well, like a buffet style lunch. But definitely shop around, like have a look around. They kind of all do the same circuit. They have slightly different departure times. Some boats are newer than others.
Yeah.
We went on Pure Milford, and we can, I guess, only speak for them, but that boat was awesome, eh?
Yes.
It was flash.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was really nice.
I should say as well, if you want to see our full video of this, I'll link it up here. But check that out. You'll see the boat. It was amazing. It was it was like a luxury yacht sort of thing.
Very nice.
Big booth seating, you know, glass ceiling as well, so you could see the waterfalls if you're sitting inside.
Plenty of room up the front of the boat for everyone to get out and get a good look.
Yeah, we saw dolphins. We stood under waterfalls. We had an amazing time. So we'll link that video up there as well if you want to watch. Definitely go and check that out. See what it's all about.
Yeah.
And lastly, tip number 5, I titled this tip Midweek or Off-Peak. I was quite proud of myself. But we went in a very quiet time, largely due to coronavirus and New Zealand being partly in lockdown.
Yeah.
But yeah, how many people were on our boat?
20, including our group of 7. We had the whole downstairs of the boat to ourselves, which meant we had access to the front of the boat to get out and look. Everyone could get out the front fine. You know, there was no fighting for space like I can imagine it would be if the boat had 200 people on it.
Yeah, so the boat was good for like 220 people or something like that, and the guy that sort of manned the cafe, he was saying like on a Saturday morning cruise it's going to be hectic.
Yeah.
And so when they say, oh, there's dolphins off the front of the bow, you can only imagine 100 people trying to go out with their cameras to get a picture of a dolphin. Where, like Chelsea said, there were literally 20 of us. We visited like midweek on like a Wednesday.
Yeah, start of December.
Yeah, so pre-Christmas. Sorry, kids are outside. So highly recommend like book your trip midweek or on a shoulder season.
Yeah.
You're not going to
be that much more enjoyable for you if you're not having to jostle for space and you can spread out a bit and it's a bit more relaxing, right?
And don't worry about the weather. Like you could book it in April. You don't need to book it in the middle of summer. Yeah, book it on the shoulder of the busy season and get in that midweek. Look for a deal online, and you'll have just as much fun as you would in the middle of summer. And
Milford's pretty rainy anyway as well. They get the most amount of rain, I think, in all of New Zealand, is it?
Yeah.
So don't be afraid of the rain. If it's raining, still go. Like it makes the waterfalls that much better.
For sure. So hopefully those were helpful. 5 little tips we kind of picked up from our trip there. Now in the next video from us, we are going to Doubtful Sound. So that's Milford's neighbour as far as sounds go, fjords. So another boat trip there. That's actually a longer boat trip. It's a couple of boat trips and a bus trip in between. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you're not already. We'll see you in Doubtful Sound.
Yeah.